What are some of the things that you're doing from a content marketing? I know you have some very strong opinion on how, especially on the SaaS space, right? Like how they're doing content marketing poorly. So what are some observations other than the fact that they're not using quantitative analysis to figure out what sort of content should they be creating, what percentage should be focused on the top of funnel awareness versus, middle or bottom of funnel initiatives. So what are other observations you have about how they're approaching content?
Yeah, so I think that's probably one of the biggest ones that they're just not even aware of. They're not even thinking about it, and and the ones that are probably thinking, "Oh, this just sounds insanely complex to do." It's not. It's an element of marketing that marketers have been doing since marketing became a profession, really. You know what I mean? So it's so easy to get surveyed out of these days, right? Like it's very easy. So that's one, is actually like most of them are skipping past the diagnostic phase of actually identifying like, what do we need to do? How do we set proper objectives that are based on hard factual data, right? Qualitative and quantitative. That's another problem, is too many people look at quant instead of qual. You need both, I think. That's a big problem. I think some other big ones are kind of viewing content in these silos instead of looking at how it all connects together, right? Like you create the content, right? Or maybe you want to validate. A lot of people don't validate the idea before they go and do it. There's plenty of channels to validate ideas on beforehand. You can validate ideas on Twitter. You can validate ideas on LinkedIn. You can validate ideas on TikTok, right? Like just to see positive signals. Does this get any sort of, comments or engagement, right? And if it does, hey, go elaborate on it. Like, what does the market tell you they want to know more about? That's a big one. And then go and actually creating that content and then making sure you're getting it distributed to the people who need to see it, and not like gating it. That's a big one, right? Where people just go put content, or they'll run lead gen ads on LinkedIn and then wonder why like LinkedIn bankrupts them, because it's like, well, look, people don't get on LinkedIn to download ebooks. I think it depends on the industry, though. I'll say that, but in SaaS, that's like in particular. I've chatted with people. I have an entire folder of just ebooks that will be read one day, maybe, right? Maybe I'll will them to somebody. Like they're in there, and I'll download them with the greatest of intention, right? But I'll get to them eventually, I guess, maybe. But the not getting the message across the right channels, not doing it frequently enough, wanting to change things too often, not wanting to actually like develop a real strategy beforehand of like, how do we win? Like where are we setting to play? How are we going to play? Measuring it properly, right? Like we've already kind of hashed that one out. I think I've seen some companies, and it depends on the type of company you run, but you can kind of play the like high volume game and leverage GPT, or you can play the like we're going to be different game and actually become the company that people aren't just always finding on Google, but instead remember and actually come back to for information over time. And I think that's the way you win. But a lot of them don't. They kind of cut corners on that, not investing the proper amount. If we're going to talk like content marketing when it comes to, say, what you do on, say, some advertising channels or more like visual channels, it would be not investing enough in enough creative, enough variations to make sure your frequency isn't just saturating everybody. SEO like has its place, but it also doesn't have its place depending on the constraints of the business, right? But thinking that any one channel is going to be a silver bullet, that's a common problem. There's a ton, and there's all solutions to all of them, but it mainly comes down to you got to figure out what your actual problem is first, and really answer the question like, what problem are we solving here, and what are the appropriate approaches to and tools and mechanisms by which we can solve this problem and measure our progress towards solving this problem.
This episode of Coffee with Closers is brought to you by OneIMS, a leading digital marketing agency helping businesses win new customers. To request a free marketing ROI audit, please visit oneims.com. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. To make sure you never miss an episode, please subscribe.